Okay. Okay. So, were you all able to do your work, the assignment I gave you?
So please,
Sir,
on the
please,
last,
sir, please, my laptop had a fault when we were on it. It couldn't work. So we have done the first one. We are still on the second one.
Okay. All right. So your
so please,
sister
on
too
the
is
last,
the same.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
so please, I'm on the last question um, of
Okay. So
the conditional statements.
okay, so all of you take time and complete, but then please, we need to speed up. Okay, we have a lot of things doing. So when I give you the work, I'm expect the reason why I've been giving you work because I want you to practice within the week. Like I said, you have to program every day, every day. Okay, maybe for now you might not know the importance of coding, but it's very, very important. Whatever that you want to do, you need to really understand how to talk to computer system. And once you get that understanding, you can do so many things on your own. So kindly take this thing as your hobby. Make sure every day you have time to code every day. Try to create small time for this every day. Make sure you code. Okay. The way you want to pray, you can also do the same thing. Okay. So you have time to play, so you should also get time to code. Okay, it's very important. Okay, so take this as your hobby. All of you, take this as your hobby and make sure you code every day. Okay, now let's start today's lesson. Okay, so I'll share my screen with you. Now, do you all remember what we did last week? Who can summarize what we did last week? What we did last week? Who can summarize for us? Hello.
Hi.
Mm-hmm.
So please, you said,
I'm seeing that what we did last week. Who can summarize it for us?
Able to enter enter and you need to write input. You need to write, maybe you want to enter its name. You need to bring the input function so that it will ask or bring a command. The input statement is a command used to prompt a user for information.
Okay. Okay.
We learned about how, how to convert input statements.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have a string and you want to convert it to integer, you need to type integer and put maybe name in a bracket. So when you print it, to print it as an integer.
Okay. So can you share your screen and show us what you've learned so far in practice? So just show like what we are saying. If you capture information from input and just show as encoded. So you can share your screen, just show as encoded. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Number one,
Mm-hmm.
the input function is what is put in the input function is enter your name.
Mm-hmm.
So to print hello plus your name
Okay.
and give you the output.
Okay.
And number two, the first option says enter any number.
Mm-hmm.
The second option also says enter any number.
Mm-hmm.
So put it into an integer and written num1 plus num2. So to convert it into an integer and give me the results
So why are we inputting integer? Why are we inputting int num1, int num2? Why that?
because if I didn't sum them or I didn't bring the integer and the integer,
Mm-hmm.
the code won't run
Why that don't run?
because the num2 here becomes a string.
Oh, okay. And then what you are doing is addition, right?
Yes,
Okay. So it means that when you run your code, it will work, but instead of maybe, for instance, if I place num1 is 2, and then num2 is 2, and I run and I didn't change int and I run, what will happen is it will come as 2, 2. Instead of being 4, the results will be 2, 2. Why?
because
Because
since
who can
I'm
answer?
joining it,
It's joining it, yes, because it's joining it. It's concatenating. So the word we use is what concatenating, okay? Because it's concatenating it. So we don't want to concatenate, we want to add addition. So you convert the string to integer. So good, that is that. So okay, so I think you've done well. Who else can also tell us what you've learned? Okay, so that's sharing, right? Is that sharing? Who just talk right now? Is it Brian or Sharing?
Brian.
Brian, okay. Okay, thank you, Brian. So now Sharing, Sharing, Sharing,
Yes, sir.
okay. Can you tell us what you've learned last week?
Sir, please, we learned how to.
Speak louder a little bit, okay? We are recording so that it will come clear.
Sir, please, we learned how when you code it can print your name and your age.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you code it to print your name. So what do we use to print your name and age? What did we use to print your name and your age? What
Sir, please,
we use what?
we use
We use uh-huh. Yes, Erin.
hello, sir.
Yeah. You say we use what? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So we use the print. Okay. We use the print statement to print your name and okay. So print function is used. So before you can do that, you use the print function to print your name or your age, any variable, whatever you want to print. The output, we use the print function to do that. Okay. Okay. So thank you, Sharon. Okay. Marcel, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, you watched the video, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so tell us what we did last week.
So you talked about input and output statements, and our
Mhm.
input statement is you, when the user is asked for an input or when the code is or when the code needs an input.
Mhm.
For example, so we use the input function. For example, we grant input into brackets enter your age, which
Mhm.
will ask prompt the user for an input of their age.
Mhm.
And we also learned about output statements,
Mhm.
which can help us output um, things that we want the computer to output, even though we have already put it in the code.
Mhm.
So we use the print function to output,
Okay. Okay.
and we also talked about conditional statements,
Okay.
which is which is if and or and not. And there are different types of conditional statements. There's
Mhm. Mhm.
if else,
Mhm.
elif, and
Mhm.
then there's and for if both of them are true, or for if one of the statements is true, and not for if the statement is not true.
Okay, so that one is the logical operation. Okay, so we use the logical operation to join two. We use the logical operation to join two or what more. Okay, conditional statement. Okay,
Okay.
okay. So I think all of you you've done well. So thank you very much. So we will continue today. What we've done so far, the understanding is there. Is there anything that's bothering you that you want me to explain before we move to today's lesson? Do you have any challenge when we were going through what we did last week? There's no challenge, right? Okay,
Yes.
that's good. Okay, so now let's go on. So when I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, please.
Okay, so now when you check my screen here, we've been able to go through. We are still week 1 to 4. Okay, so introduction to Python, we've done that. We've done variable, data types, and basic operation. Okay, and then we've moved to input and output, and we did add the conditional statement.
But please, I can't see your screen.
You can't see my screen, okay, because
Yeah.
you just joined. Okay, okay, let me stop sharing and share again. Okay, I believe now you can see, right? Hello, hello.
I.
Yes.
Can you all see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you. Okay, so now we went through conditional statements. That is, if, else, or else if, and then we added the logical what operation. So these ones are logical operation. The one with and or not. So then we use the logical operation to join two or more conditions. Okay, two or more conditions. So take note, you can write it down. I'm saying and or not are logical operation, and we use it to join two or more conditional statements like this. Okay, so that is, so now let's move on to loop. Okay, so now we will go into loop statement. So what is loop? Since we are done with it, no one is having challenge here. So we move on to loop. Okay. I hope it's better now. You can see Rain. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now our previous class we explore conditional statements with and, or, and not condition. So all those ones I said they are, we call the term for that is what, the logical what operation. So we've added the conditional statements and then the logical operation. So today we will delve into looping statements, okay, which allows us to execute a block of code repeatedly. Okay, so we will cover two types of loops. The first one is for loop, and the second one is what, while loop. Okay, so these loops are powerful tools for automating repetitive tasks, okay, and also iterating over collection of data. So let us dive more into that. Okay, now let's talk. The first one is called the for loop. Okay, so what is for loop? So we say here that the for loop is used to iterate. Okay, the for loop is used to iterate over a sequence of elements, okay, such as a list or a string. Okay, so when you say iterate means that we go over a sequence. A sequence means that it follow a particular what, pattern step by step. So if we are talking about a sequence of numbers, a sequence of 10 numbers, what do you mean by a sequence of 10 numbers? Who can tell me? When I use the word a sequence of 10 numbers, what do I mean? Who can tell me?
Which you said.
So when somebody say sequence of 10 numbers, what would that person expecting? To give me maybe sequence of 10 numbers.
Meaning the person is expecting the sequence to have 10 numbers.
But then it should follow a particular pattern. So sequence means that one after the other. Okay, you cannot jump. Sequence means that it follows. So if I'm starting, maybe my numbers is a sequence. Maybe I'm saying the pattern is in the gap between is one. Okay, so the difference is one. So if I'm starting one, it should be one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. It's a sequence. It follows a particular pattern. The pattern is difference of one, right? I hope you understand. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
please.
Okay, so if I'm giving another one, then I'm saying two, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's also a sequence, but it follows a particular pattern. And the pattern is what? Difference of what?
Two.
Difference of 2. Okay, so we are saying the for loop is for a loop that is used to iterate. Iterate means that it goes over a sequence that is step by step. So it just look through, okay, sequence. They go through the first sequence and then it check the first sequence and give you, then go to the next sequence and give you. That is iterating. Iterating, that means that it's going step by step, one sequence, you check it up, and then you move to the second sequence, you check it up. Okay, so the sequence of elements. So if we are talking about element that item within what? A list or a string. Okay, so if I'm saying that element of Kingsley, so the element of Kingsley will be what? Who can tell me? Element of Kingsley will be individual characters, because you see a string is made up of what? A string is made up of what?
Characters.
That's
Characters.
made of
Okay, a string is made up of characters. So if, for instance, let me show you this. Okay, so this is my code. This is my code. So I'm going to, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, so I will say here looping. Okay, so now I use the name. Okay, so now here Kingsley is what? Kingsley is what? Kingsley is what? Look at that.
Individual.
Kingsley is
A single person.
hello.
A string.
Kingsley is a string. Okay, Kingsley is a string. But you are saying the for loop, so you can
I
iterate over what? A string or what? A list. Okay, so let's see. If I'm going to iterate, it means that I'm going to go through Kingsley. That is step by step. So I'll start from here. K I N G S L E Y. That is iterating. You move step one, step two, till you get to the end. That is iterating. That is the for loop. So the for loop goes through the sequence. So the sequence means that step by step. Sequence means step by step. So it move from here, 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 here. Step now when you check a string, a string is having the element of this string will be what? What will be the element of this string? Who can tell me? The element of this string will be what? Individual characters. Okay. So the element here I'm talking about what?
Individual character.
So that would be this. So now, individual one here is having a position. Okay. Everyone here is having a position. Okay. So now, because we've not done something, I don't want to worry. So now here, this one, K is having position 0. Now, it start counting from 0. So K here is having position 0. Then this one is having position 1, position 2, position 3, position. So if I want to print this one, I can say print. I just want to print the first character. The first character I will use the name here.
Sir, is your screen has frozen?
My screen.
Yes.
Uh, can you see it?
Yes.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So can you see what I'm doing here?
Yes.
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 Okay. Let me increase the font a little bit so it will be visible to you. So I believe now it's visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I have this. Okay. So if I want to print only, if I print name here, it's going to give me Kingsley, right? Right? I hope
Yes.
you believe that.
Yes.
If I run this code,
Yes.
you can see the output is what? Kingsley. Can you see it? It came as what?
Yes.
Yes.
Kingsley. I want only K. So I can do something. If I do something like maybe O, okay. Let's say I have something like O here. What happened?
You print K.
The print what?
Okay.
K.
Okay. So now this is what we are talking about. Iteration. Okay. We are talking about iteration. Iteration means that it's going to do it step by step. Okay. So now to do that, we use the for loop. Okay. For loop means that I want to print individual what characters. Okay, individual characters. So we use the for loop. So for instance, if I want to print individual characters here, I can say for n is what? N here is a temporal variable. So n in, I say check if n is in what? Name. Name is this. Mine Kingsley. Everything about Kingsley is inside name. I hope you remember, right? So if I want to do that, I can come here and say print what? Print end. So the end is the one that is doing the iteration. So now end will go into Kingsley step by step. Okay. So n here will go into Kingsley step by step. So n go to Kingsley, the first one at rate, then it print it out, and go again, it print it out, then go again, it print it out, then go again, it print it out, then go again. Okay. Can you see it? Hello? Hello.
And
I hope you can see
Yes.
what came out.
Yes.
When you did it, what came out?
Explain everything step by step.
Step by step. So that is what we call iteration. Okay. So now we've been able to iterate step by step individual what elements. So these are the individual what elements. Okay. So when we go to our notes, okay, go to our note. This is what we are talking about here. That when we talk about for loop, the for loop is used to iterate, that is over a sequence of elements, like over a sequence of elements like Kingsley. Okay, so it will iterate such as list or a string. Kingsley is a string, right?
yes,
Okay, so it executes a block of code a specific number of times. Okay, once each item in the sequence. Okay, so now it will check one each item in what the sequence. So this is the syntax. This is the syntax for loop. So the syntax is for, you start with the for, then the item will be maybe a variable that you want to give in sequence. So the sequence is maybe the list or the string, okay, like Kingsley. So you give the name here, and then item means that each element that you want to get. Let's say I want to get what K, I want to get I want to get N, I want to get J. So that is the item. So you can represent with any variable, anything. But mostly we use something that move in direction to what we are doing. Okay. Maybe my sequence name is student. I can use my item name be a student singular. Do you understand?
yes,
Because you look for each individual student, so you use the item will be student, and the sequence name will be what students. Okay, that is the list of students, and then I want each student, so I will stay here. What item name will be what students, because I want one item. So now you check if student, for student in students, that is, you want to check if you are present in class. So I'm a teacher, I want to check all the students that are present in the class, like register. So to check your name one by one, I'll get the register list, and you mention the name one by one. It's the same here. You use the item here to check individual name one by one, and it will print it out. I hope you understand.
yes,
So your code, your print statement will be inside what the code to be executed. So maybe here I'll say or print what item. So now it's going to give me individual sequence. Okay, individual what sequence. Okay, so then you check here, that is example. So for example, this one is another data type I've not given you, called a list. So this is a list. Okay, so I have a list of apple. Okay, a list of apple. So now I want to print. So a list of apple is called what? Fruit. Okay, so I want to print, I want to get individual fruits. I want to get individual fruit. Okay, maybe there will be a store. I want to check if there's apple in the store. If I want to check if there's banana in the store. If I want to check if there's cherry in the store. So to do that, we say for fruits. That is, you want to check individual fruit in fruits. Then that is the block of code. Then you print or print fruits. So now it's going to give you individual. So when I print this one, what will the output be? Who can tell me? If you print this,
to give
The
you
outputs
apple,
will be apple, banana,
banana,
cherry.
and cherry.
Okay, and cherry. So now you are getting individual what element from what the list of fruits. Okay, I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now let's move on to, so that is the for loop. So that is the for loop. So always within the for loop, we iterate over a sequence of elements. So this is a sequence of elements. You iterate, go step by step. So in for loop, we iterate over a sequence of elements. You keep that in mind. In for loop, we iterate over a sequence of elements such as a string or a list. I hope you are clear now.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So now let's move on to another type of loop. Another type of loop is while loop. You can see while loop. Okay. So what do we do in while loop? So we are saying the while loop is used to execute a block of code as long as a certain condition remains true. Okay, listen again. We are saying that while loop, the while loop you is used to execute a block of code. Okay, as long as a certain condition remains true. So it repeatedly execute the code until the condition evaluate to false. Okay, so now while the condition is true, it's going to print the statement until the condition changes to false. Okay, so a while loop is used for repetitive tasks. Okay, something that you want to do over and over. Maybe I can say, hey, myself, print your name 5 times. Marcel, print your name 5 times. What I want you to do is to repeat print 5 times, which is what? Repetitive for tax. Okay. Now, instead of you printing your name 5 times, okay, you can put it in what? A while loop. So the while loop is going to execute that block of code for you over and over until it reaches 5. So it starts from 1, it will print till it reaches 5. When it's reached 5, the condition that will be what? The statement will be false. Once it becomes false, then it will stop. Let's see example. So now, like what I said, I want to print your name myself 5 times. Okay, let's say
Okay.
we want to print the name myself 5 times. So normally this is what you do. I would say print. So now if I say print, then let me copy this one. So I should have this. Okay, how many times?
Sir,
How
Five.
many
please, we
times?
can't see your screen.
Our student is not reading.
Sir, please, now it's okay.
Who? Oh, it's okay. You can see. You can see. Okay, so now
Yes,
we
sir,
have
that's
this
right.
one here. So you can see that I've created print, print, print. How many times? One, two, 4 times, right?
Four.
Okay, so the
Yes.
last one will be 5. Then the inside should be what?
Myself.
Myself. So I have here And so, okay, so now once you run this code, it's going to print the name Marcel what 5 times. Okay, that's how it's going to do. Okay, so let's see. Once I run this code, what happened?
It will print it 5 times.
To print it 5 times. Okay, to print it 5 times. So now printing is 5 times for us. That is, this one is boring. I hope you see that print here. So if I'm printing it 100 times, so I have to write this code 100 times. Okay, it's very tedious, right? So we can make this work very easy by using what, a while loop. Okay, so let's see how the while loop works. So first thing is you have to have your initial value. Okay, so my initial value maybe is initial. I can give initial value, maybe start from, that is where you want to start, maybe start. I can say start. Okay, and I'll give start should be what, 0. Okay, so it means that I'm starting from what, 0, or I can say start from 1. That is the initial value. Okay, then I'll come to while. So now here you use the while statement like this. So while this, okay, while start, this one, while start. Start is what is start? Start is 1, right?
Yes.
So while start is less than 6. Okay, while start is less than 6, then this is the block. Okay, so while this statement is true, it's going to print, while this condition is true, it's going to print what, the statement inside the block. Okay, so I will say what, print what, myself, or I can put, let me copy one here. I can say what, print print myself. Okay, then you add increment. So now I'm going to increase this one. So to increase this one, I'm going to increase this count. So I'm saying that start will be start plus 1. I believe you understand, because I'm
Yes.
just counting here. So it will first one, it will come, it will print this, then it will add 1 2. Now when it come initially, start is what? Start is what? 1, right? So now 1 here. So when it come, it will print it. The next step, start will come here. Then I'll say add 1. So start will become what? 2. Then it will be a 2 is what? 2 is less than 6, right? So it will print what? Myself. Then when it gets here, start will be what? 2 plus 1 will be what? 3. Then you come here. Is 3 less than 6? True. So it will print
Yes.
myself. Then you come here. The next time start is what? 4 plus 1 making 5. Then you come here. Is 5 less than 6? Okay,
Yes.
good. Then it will print myself. Then you come here. It will add 1 making 6. Is 6 less than 6?
Yes.
Is 6 less than 6?
No.
No,
No.
No.
it's false. So it will stop printing. Okay, so that is where when the condition becomes what? False. Okay, so now let's see. You can run this code again and then you will see when you see the output, what happened? You can see that it's printing Marcel. Okay, I hope you understand.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
that is so instead of me right, so now I can print like myself 1,000 times. Just give increase the condition here to maybe 1,001. Okay, or I can say less or what equal to. You can use less or equal to. So this one is the condition. Okay, I hope you understand.
Yes.
Okay, so that is what we mean by a while loop here. So a while loop, the while loop is used to execute a block of code as long as a certain condition remain true. Like my cell example, as long like the number that we initially gave remain true, then it will continue to print what? Myself. So it repeatedly execute the code until the condition evaluate to false. Okay, so this is the syntax. Like you can see here, maybe you can start with your count 0. So I say while count is less than 5, print count. So print count is going to print the number. So now it's going to print 0 up to what? 0 up to 5, right? So now here you can see here we have what? Count plus. Now this code that you see here, it's the same thing like what I just did for you here. You can see here we are saying count plus equal to 1. The reason is that when you come here, you can see the same name is here, start. So instead of me repeating start here again, I can I can bring plus here. So anytime you see plus here, it means the same number that is coming here. So now I can remain the plus there and say 1, which is also mean the same, which means that start here, start plus 1. That's what it means. This start here plus 1. That's what it means. So a mature developer will write this code. As you are starting, that's why I gave you that the first example for you to know that it means that start plus 1. Then it will assign to start again. I hope you understand.
Yes.
Okay, so you can do this or the first one I gave you the same thing. Okay, so I believe now you understand the concept of while
Yes.
loop and then the for loop. Do you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's see. Do we have some exercises here that we need to do? Now we can practice. So here, write a program that use a for loop to print the numbers from what? 1 to 10. Okay. Another exercise means here, write a program that uses a while loop to calculate the sum of numbers from 1 to 10 and print the results. Okay. Another exercise here. 3. Write a program that uses a for loop to iterate over a list of names. Okay. And print a personalized greetings to each name. Okay. A personalized greeting to each name. Okay, so each name you print a greeting message to each name. Now logical, these are logical reasoning question. write a program that uses a while loop to find the factorial of a given number. Print result. Okay, so I believe we can do something. Okay, so once we understand that, let's continue. So now we've done with a while loop. Let's go to a next one. This is what basic string manipulation. Okay, so do you have any question here? If there's something you don't understand about for loop and the while, that's logic looping statement. Can we move on to the next step?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Let me check my think basic. Okay, so the far there is wrong, so I'll change it for you. Okay, I think the note what is supposed to be there is not what it's showing. So I'll update it. So kindly check and go back and print it. Okay, by the close of today, I'll fix that. Okay, I hope you get me.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
but
sir.
when you click here, there's 6 here, 1.6. If I print 1.6 here, it's giving me this, the mini project here, which is wrong. Okay, so this is a wrong file that is here, so I will change that. Okay, so this is what's supposed to be there. This was supposed to be there. Okay, so I'll change that. So kindly after today you can check it and print the right information. Okay, so now we look at basic string manipulation. Okay, so in our previous lecture we explore looping statements with the for and the while loops. So today we will delve into string manipulation, which involves performing various operations on strings to modify or extract information. Okay, so strings are sequence of what? Characters. What do you mean by string? You say strings are what? Strings are what? Sequence
Sequence
of
of
what?
characters.
And
Characters.
character.
Like my name, so the individual characters that form what? A string. Okay, so and play a vital role in programming. So Let's explore the basic of string manipulation in Python. Okay. So the first one is let's do the first one is accessing what characters in a string. Accessing characters in what a string. So in Python, individual characters in a string can be accessed using what indexing. Okay, we are saying that in Python, individual characters. Okay, individual characters in a string can be what? I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So we are saying accessing characters in string. So here in Python, individual characters in a string can be accessed using indexing. Okay, so we use indexing to access individual characters. Okay, I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's see example here. Example here. So we have message. Okay, so now indexing starts at what zero for the first character and -1 for the last what character. Let's say this. If I want to print end, if I can use index -1, index means that the position of each character. So zero means you say when I did the Kingsley, you realize that it printed what H. So here, this one means what zero. So I'm talking about position zero is occupied by H. Okay. So position zero is occupied by H. So if I say here, message name open and close spare bracket, then I'll put the position there. That is the position name is the index. So when I say index zero, it's going to give me H. So H is being occupied here. Now this one, the last one, if I say -1, okay, is also going to give me this. I can also go by this one. So here is position 0, position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 5, position 6, position 7, position 8, position 9, position 10, position 11, position 12, position 13 is going to give us what this. Okay, you can test it. Change the 0 to 13 and let's see what you get. At your end, what will be the result? What did you get? Uh-huh. What did you get? What did you got? What was your answer? What did you got? Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
So what was your result?
Exclamation mark.
It's very okay. So that is 13. Okay. So the space is also count. Okay, space count. So when the space it also counts. Now when we start from 0, if I am starting from -1, so it means that here is -1, -2, -3, -4, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, negative what? 11, -12, -13, -14 will give me h. Okay, I hope you understand. So you have from your left, if I'm starting from my left, okay, left is what? Is positive. So start from 0. If I'm starting from my right, it's negative. Start from negative. Okay, or you say you are starting from front. Front is also 0, which is starting from positive, or you're starting from back, printing from the back behind, is also what? Negative. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is using the indexing. So you can use the indexing to print individual characters. I hope you're okay. Now, the next one is what? String called slicing. So slicing a string, so you can see slicing allows us to extract a portion of a string by specifying the range of indexes. Okay, we already understand the index. We are saying index is what? The position. Okay, so the slice notation uses a start index, okay, and column. So you have a start index, then the column like this, and end index. So you have your end index. So now here, to start index is what? Inclusive. So start index is inclusive always, and the end index is what? Exclusive. Okay, so that is one thing that you have to take note. So now, for instance, we have here hello Python. We want to print just Python, just Python. So now you can see here, this is what we call slice. Slice means that I want portion of it. So with this column, I can say start at position what? Index 7. So index 7, if I count here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. P is starting from what? 7. So I'll have my start index to be what? 7, because I want to print Python. And the last one is what? 13. Okay, I hope you understand. So now this is 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now 13 here means that it will stop at what? 13. It will not print 13. It will print up to 12 and stop at 13. Always, that's what we say here is exclusive. So when you check here, we are saying that the start index is what? Inclusive. It means that the 7 here is inclusive. Okay, do you understand? Hello, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, so we use the keyword here. We are saying the start index. When we come to slicing, the start index is what? Inclusive. So it's this one is inclusive. Okay, it will start from this, but the end index is what? Exclusive. So here 13 is not part, so it will stop at 13, but it will print what? 12. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now when we run this code, you can see there's 7 column 13, means that you will count from here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you start with E is 7, so you have your 7 here, which is inclusive. Then you count from 7, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12, if you put 12 here, it won't print the n. So you move to 13. So if it's 13, it's going to print what? The end, but stop at what? 13. I hope you've gotten that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So always you add 1 to your stopping. Okay, so if it's 12, add 1, making 13, so that you can print this. Okay, that's why we are saying that the end index is what? Exclusive. Now, so do you understand slicing now?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, so let's move on to the next part called what? String concatenation. I believe now you already understand what concatenation means, right? Because you've
Yes, sir.
right, so string concatenation is the process of combining string using what? The addition operator like this plus. It allows you to create a new string by joining multiple what? Strings together. For example, I have this greeting. So greeting, hello. Then I have the name Alice. So I can say greeting. Then I have this concatenation sign, which is plus. Then I want to give a space between hello and the name. So I'll give the space here. Okay, then I'll come here and then I'll start another concatenation sign and write. So this is going to give you the name. So you can see the output in hello Alice. Okay. I hope you understand concatenation, so I don't want to waste time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the next one is string length. String length. So let's say string length. So now here, the length of the length function is used to determine the length of a string. Okay, so now it returns the total number of characters in the string. For instance, hello Python. If I want to see the length of hello Python, you can see that when I was doing it, I need to count it 1, 0. I started with what? 0, 1, 2, 3. So now with the length function here to make it easy for me, so I put the length here. Now place this one in, so it will give me the output what? 14, telling me that the characters, individual characters in this string is what? 14. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is the length function. Then we have here string method. So we have the string method. So now Python provides several built-in methods for manipulating strings. So these methods allows you to perform various operations such as converting cases, okay, finding exact strings, replacing characters, and more. So for example, this one, hello Python, I can say I can change everything to capital letter. So to change everything to capital letter, you can say message here contain hello Python. So I say dot upper function here, upper method here will convert every output here to what? Capital. Maybe I want to change everything here to lowercase. So I say dot lower. So it will convert everything here to lowercase. I hope you understand. Maybe here, replace. We want to replace O with star. So you can see here, this is hello, and I want to replace with star. So we use the replace method here and replace O with what? Star. So when you see your output will come here, the O will be replaced by star. I hope you
Okay.
understand.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now
Yes, sir.
when you come to your code, if you want to know more, if you want to see more, let's see. This is the one that I just created called Kingsley. Okay, so I'll just clean this. Okay, now when I come here, you see this variable. If I say name, I believe you know name contains a string of what? Kingsley, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay, so now if I use dot, you can see the dot will give me all what we were talking about today. So you can see you can join, you can use to format, you can join like what we were talking about. There are a lot of steps. You can see the replacer we just did. So replace, you give your initial what you want to replace, and then you can see capitalize. You can change the first letter to capital. You can see center, you can see count, you can see end with, you can see expand, find, index. You can find the index in the string here. You can see its character, there are a lot of its digits. Then you can see the lower we just did. This is the lower. Okay, you can see L strip, there are a lot of them here. All will come. That's why we use the top strip title. We want to change everything to title case like this. Upper is what we just went through. So there's title, okay. I believe you understand. So now this string,
Sure.
you can see the string two is there. You can so now all what I want you to know is the basic one is what? This upper. So you can change everything to uppercase. You can change everything to what? Lowercase. Okay. You can change everything to you can split. Split here means that you want to split everything individually. So it's going to split it for you. Okay, so you can use split. So if I have the name Kingsley, I can do split function here when I do something like this. Then it's going to split everything that is here. Let me clear here. It's going to split this name. Okay, when you run this code, you can run this code and see. So I want you to just be trying yourself. When you run this code, just run this one, give the name here, and then add the split. You see that to split this one into a tuple. Can you see it?
Yes.
You see that it
You
has
say.
split it. Okay, so it's the same thing. You can change it to lower. If you do lower, so dot. The moment you use dot, it will come. Then you see what you want to change. Maybe I want to change it to capital title. So title, but as you be doing it, you get used to. Okay, you can change it to lowercase. I can change it to title and all those things. So these are what I want you guys to know. Okay. So title, if I come here, title means that I want to change the first letter here to title case. So once you run here, it's going to change this. Okay, you can use capitalize. So it's going to capitalize everything so so forth. So I believe you really understand what we've done today, right? So now there's a work here you
Yes, sir.
to complete exercise. Write a program that asks user for their full name and print the initial and should be in uppercase. Okay. Write a program that count the number of occurrence of a character in a given string. Okay. Write a program that asks the user, okay, for a sentence and print the sentence in what? A reverse. Okay, so when you check here, you can see we have reverse. If you dot here, you see there should be reverse. Okay, we have replace and all those things. You see all those things, partitions and all remove and everything is there. So I just want you to try your hands on them, okay, and see how you'll be able to do everything. It's capital and all those things. Now here, if I'm going to use a reverse, you can also use the column function that we gave here, like this, what we learned there. Okay, so you print it by reverse. If I'm starting from the back, we did that, you know that you can change it from opposite that. So I just want you to think and see how you'll be able to solve that. Okay, so all of you, I think you've done well. You've done well by joining today. Let's see, tomorrow we have another class. Please make sure you come early. Okay. Benson, today you were
Yes.
late. What happened?
Um,
What happened? What were you doing?
so please, I couldn't get the link for the website.
Which link? But you already know.
Link. So I already have it, but anytime I type it, it's not coming.
So make sure you write it down, okay? Or you save it. You have to save it. Okay, this is how you do it. So you can come here. When you open, you see this star. Okay, you can click on the star like this, and then it will save. You say save. So you can create a different folder. You can see that favorite. So you click on favorite, then it's save. So anytime you come here, you can see your favorite. Then you see I've saved a lot of things here. But it's not everything that you can remember. So now you can see I save it as favorite. So I'll go to favorite. You see that what we just did, this one. This is what I just
Yes.
put inside my favorites. You can see here. So I'll just come and click this link, and then it will take me to the site. So I don't need to always worry myself, okay, I want this. So you can see I've saved a lot of things, okay, because it's not everything that
Yes.
you can remember. So always be trying to go to a site, you want to keep note of it. The moment you are done, you can save that, okay, so that anytime you get this one, I can even save this work. So maybe I'm not done with this teaching. I want to continue. So I just click on save as favorite. So anytime I'm starting, I'll just go there and then I'll click on it and it will come like the way it has opened for me. I hope you've gotten it.
So please share.
Okay, so tomorrow try and join the class early. Okay, this meeting is being recorded. So after this class, I will try and work on the recording and make it available so you can watch it. Okay. Okay, so kindly do my work for me. I'll give the link. The first one I gave, I've not given the link. I will provide the link of the second assignment for you to upload, and then I will give the link for today. We have two assignments. We have two assignments today, so I'll provide the link for each individual assignment. Okay, so you can upload your assignments there. Okay, so kindly do the work. I will provide the link for you to submit your assignment. So work on that. Okay, if there's no question, we can end the class. Okay, thank you for joining. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Bye bye, sir.
Bye.